And welcome back to the Sweet Georgia Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Wyatt Sikes, and joining me today is our very special guest, the recent inclusion to the 2017 College Football Hall of Fame class and Georgia Southern football legend, Adrian Peterson. Adrian, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty great. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get right into some questions. So, I've got to ask about the Hall of Fame inclusion. I mean, it's crazy. The class you're going in with as well, you got Peyton Manning, Marshall Faulk. How was that whole experience to be named to the 2017 College Football Hall of Fame class?
It's great. It's a great honor, man. And about 2 weeks ago, I got the information in the mail, and you know, they also have you keep it quiet, you know, until they announce it. But holding that news was very hard, man. It's an great honor.
Oh, for sure. And I'm so excited for when the induction comes around. It's going to be a really special time, and it's such a good look for the university as well. And we're just so happy to have you here. I'm going to go off on a little tangent real quick. My first ever memories of football in any form was me wearing the number 3 blue Georgia Southern football jersey when I was around 4 or 5 years old, and I wore that thing till it didn't fit anymore. And that was it's an honor to interview you because I mean you're one of the main reasons I got into college football as a kid and still follow it the way I do today.
Good deal, man. Great honor hearing that, you know, but you make me feel just a tad bit old. Not too old, just a tad bit.
Hey, you remember me running around as a little kid, I bet. But anyways, so we'll take it back to where it all started here. So I want to ask you, why did you decide to go to Georgia Southern University?
Coming out of high school, to be honest, I probably figured, I guess assumed I would actually sign at a larger school. My older brother at the time was at University of Florida. 2 of my offensive linemen was at University of Florida. One was at Virginia Tech. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. I had 3 offers, official offers, I guess you could say. Georgia Southern was one, South Carolina State, and FAMU was the third. And I took out 3 visits. Love Statesboro, just the small town feel, kind of like my hometown of Alachua. Great offense. It was similar to the offense I ran in high school. And it just felt like home.
Yeah, I know the same feeling about Statesboro, Georgia. I love it here as well. And we were definitely glad to have you come to Statesboro instead of FAMU and the other places. And we definitely got to experience some great times with you here. Now, with that being said, let's kind of go to the end of it. What is your fondest memory of Georgia Southern University?
Probably winning those back-to-back ships, man. Because you can see the light at the end, and not only seeing the light, but also grabbing it from the spring practice. Well, starting winter workouts to spring practice, summer tour days. 12-game regular season, and then for us, for the 1AA, of course, the 3 or 4 game playoff system. So with all that work, and then at the end of the year, being the only one standing, it's an amazing feeling.
I believe it. I somewhat remember the last national championship we had. I was very young, one of my first memories of college football, but I hope to have that feeling again one day because I can't imagine how it felt. I bet it was one of the most unmatched feelings you can experience as a football player in general.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great, and not only for the guys and the coaches and the trainers, equipment guys, but also our fans. You know, we have great fan base, and being a part of that is is great.
Yes. And so to kind of talk about some other accolades while you were at Georgia Southern, you won the Walter Payton Award in 1999. Now, I know that was a very special feeling. How did that feel to be named to such a high honor in college football?
It was great. It was great. And my first years of football, my jersey number was number 34. So, and I picked that number because of Walter Payton, Bo Jackson, and Herschel Walker. So I always tried to include some of their game in mine, and being named in the Walter Payton Award winner, um, I guess had another amazing feeling.
Oh, for sure. And I just one of the highest accolades you can receive in college football, and very special for the university, and of course for you as a player. I can't even imagine. But with that being said, I've got to talk about this play. Everybody knows it as the run. If you don't know what it is and you're tuning it in, go on YouTube right after this interview and type in Adrian Peterson the run, and you will witness one of the greatest college football plays of all time. I still look back at it, and it's definitely up there. I mean, this puts Marshawn Lynch to shame. This play, you've got to go look it up. It was recognized at the ESPYS as well, and it was just a fantastic play. So, tell me what was going through your head during that play.
Hey, as a running back, every time you get a chance to carry it, my mindset is scoring. There are some special occasions where if it's a 3rd and 3, of course, if you can get 4, you get 4, and then then you'll take whatever else is available. But as a running back, my mindset is always scoring. It's scoring, and as if guys can revisit that run. You can also see I had amazing blocks. The offensive lineman was 30, 40 yards down the field trying to make a block. And I think it was just symbolize how great of a team we had, great of a unit. Yeah, of course, I received, a lot of the recognition and a lot of the individual honors. But if you can see that run, I'm actually surrounded by at least 6 or 7 guys trying to make a block. And if you want to be on a winning team, that's what it takes. A group of guys putting forth an amazing effort and not necessarily worrying about who receives the credit for a job, but always trying to score, And my dad always told me at a young age, starting playing, one guy should not be able to bring you to the ground. And that's just something I took along with me in high school, as well as college, and then also in the NFL.
And it seemed like 5 players couldn't take you to the ground on that play. I mean, it was crazy. I can't remember I think it was number 1 from Youngstown State. This was in the national championship, by the way, guys. It was the biggest stage you can be in to do this. After breaking probably around 5 tackles or something near the sideline, number 1 tries to stand you up, and that was just a horrible idea as you just throw him to the ground. One of the most vicious plays I've seen in college football in a long time. And it was just a blast going to revisit that play the last few days and just to watch that and such, and it was amazing. And is it safe to say that you would have scored a touchdown if you weren't tackled by your own player at the very end of the play?
Well, I joke with him every now and then about it, but he was, as I said, I get 30, 40 yards down the field trying to make a block, and even now, man, I look back and say to myself, I did all of that, and then just to get a shoestring trip up is hurting to me a little bit, because I'm always trying to score. As I said earlier. So um, he was trying to help. So you can't give him a whole lot of blame for it. So
And I know for sure. And I would say that's probably one of your best games as the Georgia Southern Eagle, in my opinion. I remember before that play happened, you already had, I want to say it was 12 carries for 136 yards in the second quarter. I mean, that's just unheard of. So that game was absolutely amazing. I've gone back and watched it a few times, and man, I hope we get to the national championship again one day, huh? But
yeah,
that one was
yeah,
a
we
ton of
will,
fun.
we will, man, we will in due time. In
Oh
due
yeah,
time.
just got to grind it out. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
But with that being said, as your time at Georgia Southern University came to a close, as graduated and everything else, looking back at Georgia Southern, what did it mean to you?
It's a special place for me. They gave me, you know, an opportunity to earn a college uh, a degree, which I did. I was able to find my lovely wife there, and she's the mother of all of our kids. So it's been amazing from the sports aspect of it, from the gaining a college degree, and also for the social aspect of being able to find my wife there. So amazing, amazing choice.
For sure, yes, and I hope in the next few years here, when I graduate, I can have some same outlooks on it as you do. But with that being said, football wasn't over for you after college, not even close. So the NFL draft rolls around. What was the preparation before the NFL draft? What did it feel like?
A lot of training. Right after I graduated, I think was like December 18th, December 15th, somewhere around there. We actually lost in the semifinals against Furman. So 3 days later, I went out down to Bradenton, Florida, and started training for the combine and the NFL draft. So when the NFL draft, came, I figured I would be probably, a first or second round draft pick, maybe third or fourth. That didn't happen. Fell all the way down to the sixth round, and was able to make an 8-year career out of it.
Oh yes, and I kind of want to talk about that now, especially your time with the Bears. How did it feel when the Bears called you and said, "We're taking you with the 199th pick in the sixth round"? And it just turns out you spent from 2002 to 2007 there. How did it feel to go from being drafted there and just playing the majority of your career with the Chicago Bears?
I mean, it was great. It was. I get draft day is an emotional roller coaster. You wake up, it's draft day. You expect it to be drafted. The day one goes by, your name is not called. Day two comes. I think that's the start of the third round. Name wasn't called. Third, fourth round. I actually took a nap. Because I was just emotion was all over the place. Emotion drain. The fifth round, woke up and got a phone call, and it was a head coach at the time was Dick Duran, and as he's saying, we're gonna select you with the next pick. I see my name going across the bottom of the screen, and it was a great feeling that all of the decisions I have made from a childhood to high school to college had just put me in a position to enter the NFL draft, and being able to be selected. It was a true definition of hard work pays off.
Oh, definitely, and it was a blast watching you in the NFL as well, as you spent a good while with the Chicago Bears. Can you give us some of your fondest memories playing with the Chicago Bears for those years?
Yes, the 2006 season. We were, I think, 12-3. That was an amazing run for us. The city was excited and pushing our way through the playoff. We had a first round bye, and then being able to make it to the Super Bowl. That was an amazing game. It would have been a little bit better had we won, but just making it there is it's tough. It's tough.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the Super Bowl experience? I'm intrigued. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. I've never been able to experience a Super Bowl as a fan yet, so I want to hear it from a player who's actually been in one. What was the whole aurora around the Super Bowl? What did it feel like?
Yeah, leading up to it, man, it was here in Chicago because you have a week before um, the Super Bowl, so it's actually like a week and a half to get ready for it, and it was crazy. The city was going crazy. Everywhere we went, we were being recognized with high praise, and even in Miami, I'm arriving in Miami. It was a great experience, and just being out there for the opening kickoff. As a fan, and as a kid, I always thought the flashing of the lights was animation, was something they did just for television. But being out there for the opening kickoff and seeing all of the flashing lights, it was amazing. And being able to take part of such a historic game, which also featured two African American head coaches in Lovie Smith for the Chicago Bears and Tony Dungy for the Indianapolis Colts. And also being a part of Devin Hester returning the opening kickoff, which was the first Super Bowl to open with the opening kickoff being scored for a touchdown. So a lot of history in that Super Bowl, but and I said it would have been a little bit better had we come out on the positive side of that game, but just didn't happen for us.
Hey, it's all good. At least you went to the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm sitting here as a fan, and I haven't even seen a Super Bowl yet. So maybe this is the year for the Falcons. Things look
Maybe
up.
this is the year for the Falcons. They're looking good, man. They're looking good.
I hope so. I'm going to be there Saturday for the Seahawks game, and if we lose that game, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself till football season rolls around. But anyways, with that being said, I know you mentioned Lovie Smith. What was it like to play for him? I find him such an interesting coach. He's one of my favorites, too, of all time in the NFL. Just a massive dude. I mean, he looks scary. Like, what can you tell me about Lovie Smith?
He's a great guy, man. Great guy. Humble, well respected. He's not one of those guys that's gonna do a lot of yelling and screaming, but also not a lot of high fiving. Stays pretty much even killed throughout the entire game, and it was great. I guess he caught a little bit of a grassy green on the other side here with the Chicago with being fired after going 10-6. That's almost like unheard of, but it's part of it, I guess, man.
Yeah, it was a rough end to his time there in Chicago, and he bounced around a little bit in the NFL. I remember he's at the Buccaneers last year, and they got rid of him after I think it was just one season. And now he's the head coach of which is it Iowa State?
At U of I.
Okay.
U of I.
Okay,
Yep.
that's right.
University of Illinois.
Okay, Illinois. That's correct.
Yeah.
And I'm wishing him success there because I've always liked him as a head coach, and hopefully he'll make his way back into the NFL one day, or maybe he'll turn Illinois into a powerhouse. Who knows? Any of them. But with that being said, I got to mention this. How did it feel to go from Statesboro, where it's warm all the time, to Chicago, where it's miserably cold all the time? What was how different was that?
Yeah, it's and not only for the weather, but just the size of the city. You're talking about Statesboro, Georgia, which is probably one of the smaller cities in the U.S., and then you're talking about Chicago, which is probably the second or third largest media outlet as well in the U.S. As far for the weather, I had to go and get a lot of winter coats, a lot of gloves, a lot more scarves. I had a couple hoodies, but it was a whole wardrobe change. Growing up in Florida and then playing in Statesboro, Georgia, you can kind of get away with just I guess a hoodie and some sweatpants to get you through the morning. Then around noon it'll normally peak back up to the 60s or the 70s. But here in Chicago, man, it was days when we have high of 2, and you don't see the sun for a couple of weeks. So it's a lot of gloomy and gray days. But you learn to, I guess, deal with it. It's mind over matter, and that's kind of how I got through with it. Mind over matter, man. You know.
For sure. I couldn't imagine playing out there in that weather, though. Oh, it's got to be rough. And you were talking about the crazy weather in Statesboro. 2 days ago, it was 28 degrees in the morning, and then later that day, it was 70. That doesn't make any sense at all. But I mean, at least in Chicago, it's a consistent weather. It's always going to be cold.
Yeah, it's always gonna be cold. I think about 3 days ago it was like 1 and 2 and 3 degrees,
Oh,
and then yesterday we got up to 39, which actually felt like a wonderful day here in Chicago at 39 degrees. So you take the good with the bad, and just hope for the best.
for sure. And I forgot to ask. I looked everywhere to see if I could find this stat. Did you ever end up playing against your brother Mike?
Yeah, we actually played 3 times.
Okay.
Two when he was with the Jaguars, and one when he was with the Falcons. He won 2 of them, and I won one. So
So he's got the
he
bragging rights.
he got he got a little bit of he got the upper hand in that. But I always remind him that I did play in a Super Bowl, and I do have an NFC Championship ring.
That's
So.
right.
And the younger brother, man, you always try to find a way to get the upper hand on your older brother. So, I played in the Super Bowl. I do have a NFC Championship ring.
There you go. There you go. And I remember when Mike and the Falcons made it to the NFC Championship in 2012. I remember I went and saw you and your brother Mike in Gainesville for one of the book signings, and I remember talking to him about
Yep.
that year. And I couldn't imagine losing that NFC Championship game. It was miserable to watch at home. I remember watching it and nearly tearing up
I
at
was
the end
at
of
the
it.
game.
Oh
I,
gosh.
I was at the game. I think they went in halftime like 21-7. So I called my wife. I told her, "Babe, I think I'm gonna go to the Super Bowl." So, I'm probably go like 3 days early just to hang out a little bit. And they came out the second half and just kind of laid an egg. And I think it was like, wow. I think it was 21-7 or something like that. They had
It,
they had a nice comfortable lead at the half.
yeah, I can't remember. It might have been it may have been 21-0 or 21-7 or something like that. And then the 49ers and Colin Kaepernick of all people just stormed back. And
Yeah.
oh man, I still can't forgive Harry Douglas for dropping that wide open ball that pretty much led to a Super Bowl ticket. But that one was a rough one. But yes, going back to it all, you're still winning over your brother. You won the NFC Championship game, so I give you the
Yeah.
edge on that one.
Yeah. As a younger brother, man, you always try to find that one up on your older brother. I took a lot of lumps growing up, man.
And I remember another thing. back when I was younger, the older Madden games, you would always be on the Madden games, and I would always play with the Bears because I always wanted to play with Adrian because at the time you were one of the few Georgia Southern players in the NFL. I remember you and Rob Baronis, and
Yep, yep. The
that might
kicker.
have been that. Yeah, that might have been it. I think, right?
Um, for a while, we had a couple cornerbacks that made it. Earth Wind Moreland,
That's
he
right.
played about 4 years, and Kawaki Thomas played about 5 years, and David Young played, I think, 3 or 4 up in Cleveland.
That's right. That's
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah, but look at these Eagles now. I mean, we've got a few in the NFL now. You look at J.J. Wilcox, who's been balling out for the Cowboys this year. I mean, the Cowboys sitting pretty right now, number one seed in the NFC, on the way to possibly a Super Bowl. Hopefully not. I hope my Falcons get them. But and then you've also got Edwin Jackson, who's doing his thing for
yep,
the Colts right now. Antoine Williams up there at the Lions, who they made the playoffs as well. And of course, Jerick McKinnon over at the Vikings right now. And Darius Eubanks as well, as he was with the Cleveland Browns earlier this year.
yep.
I mean, things are starting to look up at Georgia Southern. What would you have to say to these guys that are coming through the league now?
It's great. It's great being able, as a former player. I guess you can call me current fan. Seeing guys in the league, and as a young kid, I always understood, that it's not where you go, but it's what you do when you get there. You may get one opportunity, and you have to seize that moment. Some guys are fortunate enough to get 2 and 3 and 4 opportunities, but whenever your number is called, seize the moment, and all of those guys are doing that. I just look at Edwin Jackson, from a free agent, bounced around in and out of camps, but stayed positive. And when he got his chance to get on the field, it did well. So, it's not necessarily where you go, but what you do when you get there.
Yes, for sure. And Edwin Jackson is a great player to name there. As he is one of those true stories of people just working really hard, outworking other people, just to an extreme to where he earns that spot on a team. He bounced around the league from the Cardinals to the Buccaneers, I believe, and
Yep.
now he's found a home, it seems, at the Colts. And I'm so happy for him. He truly deserves it because he works harder. He's one of the most hardworking football players I've seen in my time, and I wish him nothing but the best, as well as all the other Georgia Southern Eagles in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Yes, for sure. And might have a few more. Yukimi Elegwe declared for the draft as well from this
Saw that.
past
Yep.
year. Ironhead Gallen. I don't know if he's going to get drafted or not, but this kid's something special. Everybody says he's undersized, but I don't care. This guy can play, and I think you'll see him make a run. I really do. I think he'll be something special. I think we'll see Kevin Ellison and Fabian come out as well. I'm excited for the draft to roll around because these we got a lot of Eagles looking like some NFL talent now, and it's really something special to see.
Yeah, yeah. And you just have to take advantage of every opportunity you get. Whether you get drafted first round, second round, third, or you're a free agent, you just have to take advantage of every opportunity you can step on the field, and whenever your numbers call, maximize it, and that would be my advice to the guys graduating and in the NFL draft.
Yes, yes, for sure. And I hope to see them do well, especially this upcoming draft as well. And I know Combine's about to start rolling around and everything else. So I wish them the best of luck. Now, as your NFL career comes to an end after spending from 2002 to 2007 with the Bears, and then spent a little bit of time with the Seattle Seahawks, and then with the Virginia Destroyers later. After it all comes to an end, what were you thinking? What was next for you?
You know what? I was a little unsure, and then I wrote my book. When I finished it, I had actually started writing while I was currently playing, and did a couple speaking events in Statesboro, and got a lot of more email requests, Facebook requests to come back. And 3 years later, still doing the motivational speaking. Had the opportunity to open up a gym here in the Chicago area where we train athletes on speed and agility and strength and conditioning. Just partnered up with another location about 20 minutes from here. So now we have two locations here in the Chicago area. Got a couple phone calls from a couple people up in Atlanta who have gyms up there who want to partner up and start doing some training. So got a lot going on, man, and just staying busy. Kids, of course, in sports and school activities. So just trying to create a schedule and to make everything work out.
I was saying, you said you were talking about your kids playing sports. What's it like what's it like coaching up the kids now?
Yeah, and a lot of positive reinforcement. Um, we praise them a little bit, we praise them a lot, and then we correct them a little bit, praise them a lot, correct them a little bit. So, you kind of never want them to think that they got it, but you don't necessarily want them to think that they're doing a bad job either. So trying to find that common ground of congratulating them, but also critiquing them a lot. So it's a lot of mental, assessment, you could say, at an early age.
For sure, just finding that equilibrium with the kids to, not get too hard on them and not be too soft on them and everything else. And I understand that as I've been around some kids playing sports as well, and if you get too hard on them, they lay down on you. But it's just that
They will
young
shut
age.
down.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
they will shut down on you. So you have to high five them and all of that to keep them energized. Yeah, man.
For sure. And I know you touched on it a little bit later, but I still wanted to ask you about it. Can you tell us a little bit about your autobiography, Don't Diss My Abilities? I know I have a copy at my house, and it's one of the most inspirational things you can read. No, it doesn't matter if you're an athlete or whatever it may be. Just make sure you go out and read this book because it is a must-read, and it's a fantastic read. But I want to hear it from you. What can you tell us or tell the audience about your autobiography, Don't Diss My Abilities?
It actually started, man, as a hobby. I was just writing in between flights, during the off season. I would write a paragraph and probably come back to it 2 weeks later, write a sentence and come back to it maybe a month later, and look back one day and realize that I had 30 pages and cleaned it up a little bit and had it published. But it's just about growing up as a young kid with the speech impediment, not allowing it, to hold me back. Could have used it as an excuse, as a crutch. Had a mom and dad, parents who were supportive, but never allowed me to get out of doing my Easter speeches, my Christmas speech, class presentation. I still had to do it. Some days it took me, 5 minutes. Some days 15, and sometimes, I would ask the professor or the teacher, could she come back to me? But keeping that never give up attitude at a young age, helped me throughout life. And we are gonna have something that society or we may see it as a disability, but with hard work and dedication, it will pay off in the end.
Yes, for sure. And one of the most inspirational things you'll ever read, like I was saying earlier, it's a fantastic read. And if you're listening to us right now, make sure to go and check out the book, Don't Diss My Abilities, Autobiography of Adrian Peterson. It is a fantastic read, and I know you all will enjoy it. And I know it's super inspirational. I got to ask you about your inspirations through life, through football, whatever it may be. Who are some of the people you look up to through it all?
One was my dad. He was a guy that worked two jobs. He was our youth football and basketball coach. Um, Throughout my 16 years, 17 years of staying in my parents' house, I never seen him call in, on a sick day. And the second would be Mike, my older brother. He gave me he gave me a blueprint of what it took to be successful on and off the field. So everything he did, I did. He was fortunate enough to play 14 years in the league, and I was able to play 8 years as well as graduating college.
That's right. And I hear the kids have joined now. That's okay. They can come on too. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Man.
yeah. But yes, and Mike as well. I remember watching him for a while, especially when he played for the Falcons. A great player, obviously, and I'm sure you took some of the stuff from his football knowledge as well from him and such. And I could definitely see all of that. And so to kind of wrap things up towards the end here, I kind of want to talk about right now with Georgia Southern, as I know you're still a big follower at Georgia Southern's football program and Georgia Southern in general. And I just want to ask you, I know college football season just got over. I know that crazy Alabama-Clemson game just finished. But I got to ask you, what do you expect from this Georgia Southern football program under second-year head coach Tyson Summers coming into this next season?
I think great things. I think last year it was tough. I guess on everybody, from the coaches to the players and the fans. But I think we're gonna bounce back. I see we have hired some great guys from Coach Cook. I had a chance to chat with him a couple weeks ago. Bob Bodine, who was on the staff the years I was there at Georgia Southern. So I think we're gonna have a strong year coming up, man.
I think so as well. We've got a lot of the pieces in the right place now. I think we had to make some changes after last season, which was understandable with some of the stuff that went down there. But we didn't jump ship on Coach Tyson, and I'm glad. And we're going to set him up with a staff that I think will be very beneficial for him, as we're going to run out the gun now. We're going to run under center. We're going to do a lot of different things. So this Georgia Southern offense in 2017 could be a lethal one. And you hope to see that come back, and I think it can. And you got a hard test for your first game with Auburn, but besides that, I think this Georgia Southern team can do something special. So I'm really excited to see what they can do. And when are you going to make it back? When are you going to come back down for some of the games?
Haven't checked out the schedule yet, but no, I know I'm trying to make it down to at least 2 or 3. It's a little harder now with Aiden. He has games.
That's right.
Which was fortunate. His games are on Sundays, so coming out of Atlanta or coming out of Augusta Airport, I just have to make sure I get an early enough flight that Sunday morning to make it back for his games as well. So I'll probably at least make 2 or 3 games again each year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Excited to have you back down here. As you all know, Adrian Peterson, Hall of Famer at GSU and about to be a Hall of Famer in college football as a whole. And Jersey retired, number 3, still up on the side of good old Paulson Stadium up there. And man, it's been an honor talking to you today. It's been awesome. You're one of my first memories of college football, as I was talking about earlier, and I really appreciate what you've done for Georgia Southern University and what you've become, and it's been awesome. It really has been.
Anytime, man. Appreciate it. Anytime.
All right, so that'll do it for the Sweet Georgia Sports live interview with Adrian Peterson, about to be class of 2017 College Football Hall of Famer and a Georgia Southern legend. And with that being said, we'll wrap her on up here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and, of course, right here on Spreaker for all of our podcasts regarding the Atlanta Falcons, the Atlanta Braves, the Atlanta Hawks, and all of the our college teams in all of the state of Georgia. With that being said, I'm your host, Wyatt Sikes, and we will see you all on the flip side. Peace, guys.